good? What's good? What's good? Top of the sky. Y'all probably thought I wasn't gonna tap in with y'all this morning, but I'm here though. Your boy is here.
Ja myślała, że pani
I just
pojechała.
finished eating some melon for breakfast. I ain't eaten no melon in years, man. Word. That shit brung back memories like I don't know. That shit made me think of my grandmoms, my mom's moms. Like she used to give me certain shit. That's why I say I really think niggas got some type of Caribbean in their background, cause when you around, especially older people that's from the Caribbean, you going you gonna notice certain shit. It's gonna be certain flavors, certain smells in the house. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, the flavor of that melon just that shit made me think of her. She used to give me shit like that. Um, Bunch of different teas and shit. And it's safe to say, that shit all works, man. That shit really do all works. When I was living with my moms, I was skinny. I didn't start getting fat till like 6 or 7. Once I moved, once I got out of foster care and I moved with my other grandmother, my pop's moms, and I had the free will to go in the refrigerator and all that shit, yeah, it was over. It was over. But at the end of the day, that was like the gift and the curse. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, she used to make mad different shit, and yeah, that shit just made me remember her. Word. Cold water and melon. Now, yesterday I was on here rambling, telling a story for about an hour, and I started seeing these comments that was like, yo, if you don't speak back to us, we ain't gonna stay. So today I'm not rambling. Shout out to I Love Blackpink. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, share the video too, man, so we could get this joint jumping, man. Get it in the algorithm so it could pop up on people's feed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm not rambling today. No stories today. Shout out to Stephen Hammered Klein. Where y'all tapping in from? I Love Blackpink and Stephen. Where y'all tapping in from? These local vibes? Or y'all in another country? Don't be shy today, man. Y'all talked all that mess yesterday. Don't be shy today. I want a comment after comment after comment, and keep on liking these videos, man. I appreciate those that like the video, subscribe, and y'all keep on doing that for your boy. Yeah, man. Started the day with some cold water and some melon so far. Had to come outside, get some of this sun. I used to think letting the sun shine through the window is like as good as being out there, but it's not. That window, that shit is between you and the sun. And you might be thinking, oh, it's just a window. But at the same time, that window is between you and the sun. So I like to be right out here, let that motherfucking sun shine right on me. Straight jacket. You know what I'm saying? No looking through no window. straight sun beaming off the top of my head. Word up. Now, I got a question for the viewers. You know, like I said, I want y'all to comment. I got a question for y'all. If you could only pick one out of three, what would you pick? Again, if you only could pick one out of three, what would you pick? Be a millionaire? Be in love? Or be healthy for the rest of your life? No popping up diseases. You live until the body is not capable of living. That might be in the hundreds, but you got good health. Completely. Nothing to worry about. No cancer later, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Which one would you pick? Number 2, be in love. That's interesting. Shout out to Pat Lack. Heavy Chevy, healthy. Shout out to Heavy Chevy. Then find love and get rich. No. That's the thing. You only can have one. So if you got your wealth, if you a millionaire, you can't, ain't no love. Ain't none. You just, you got some money and you got to deal with that. And if you got your health, ain't no money or love. You just healthy. You got to deal with that. So that's why I say you pick one of them. That's it. Healthy. I mean, it ain't like you ain't gonna never get love. I mean, your love is just gonna stay where it's at. So if you got people in your life that love you or you love someone, it's gonna stay that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you never gonna get a chance to experience the other two, but you just can't. That's not the main priority out of all three. Only the one you picked. That's a guarantee. You might not be guaranteed to find more love than what you have. You might not be guaranteed to make more money than you have. So you got to pick one and deal with the rest. And I think I'll probably pick I think I pick love. Number 2. You know why? Because if you got that, if you got people that love you and shit, you know, you're gonna be able to sustain a certain level because those people love you. They ain't gonna let you know what I'm saying? And I ain't talking about that fake ass love that's out here these days. I'm talking about real 100% genuine, no strings attached love. You know what I'm saying? If you got enough of that and you around enough of the right people, I don't think you won't even feel like you poor. You may not feel rich, but you ain't gonna feel like, oh, I'm down and out on my last. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you pick money, you pick wealth. Like I said, you got to deal with the level of love that you already got.
Yeah.
And that's going to be affected by the money, believe it or not. People may love you more. People may love you less. People may become more faker with their love. You know what I'm saying? But you got to deal with it. But I think I'll pick number 2. And then I would pick 3, healthy, because I want to pick healthy first, because being healthy and not having, well, you know what? I kind of fucked up. I think I would pick health first. You're right, because like I said, it's not that you're not gonna experience the other two. It's just not guaranteed. So yeah, definitely health. Cause I mean, once you got health, shit, whether things in life don't go your way or not, at least you gonna survive it. Feel me? And I mean, shit, that's the motherfucking point of life anyway, right? Is to survive it, live it, so to speak. Shout out to Mr. Black Man. Yeah, health, then find love and get rid. Yeah, definitely a formula. Definitely. Just imagine though being so rich to the point where you can't really believe anything. Meaning like people people are gonna love you, but you may not know the level of love that they have for you if you're that rich, that successful, because even people who may not love you as much as you think, they gonna throw sauce on that shit. And it's gonna be hard to tell when they throwing sauce on it. Cause it ain't like they just started loving you. They've been around, they've been loving you, but now that you know where you at financially, it may be a little extra sauce thrown on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm starting to think that once you reach that level, it's not your job to think that way. I really think that. I think that you just gotta do good by people as long as they do good by you, because it'll make you go insane. Always trying to stay a step ahead of people as far as them, wanting things or trying to get over on you. That's a stressful game, and that don't make people bad either. It's like if a family member of yours got rich or a brother of yours got rich, you ask him for 10,000. You may have never asked him that in life because he never had it. So now that he got it, you like, it's my brother. My brother got some real fucking money. Let me ask this nigga for 10 bands, see what he say. You know what I'm saying? But then the person you asking, your brother, he might be like, oh, this nigga, you ain't never come to me and asked me this ever in your life. True, I just said that. But they not realizing this because you've never been where you've been at in life before for me to even want to ask you that shit. They so fucking zoned in on the fact that they got something now and they trying to protect it, that they look at every fucking body as a potential threat to their fucking finances, I guess I could say, right? And that ain't true. Because again, people ask for shit that don't make them bad people. Even if they've asked for something they've never asked for. Even if they ask for something that you feel, how could this nigga even ask me that thinking that he was gonna get an answer besides the answer I gave him? Yeah, even that. It don't matter. Because people in general, people gonna do people shit. Don't make people bad. That just makes people people. Now, if a person you dealing with start to show you some weirdo shit, or they start to move funny, or they feel like extra entitled, then that's when we get into the area of like, oh, okay. Now you got the ability to cut motherfuckers off without any sympathy, because you know that was what it was. You don't realize it, but more money, more problems. My most cherished moments were of me, my family having, I believe that. Money switches your value subconsciously. Absolutely, bro. You know, when I had a certain amount of money, I felt like what I'm describing. And now in hindsight, I see that's just your fucking mind. And conquering your financial problem with abundance is one thing, but you got to be able to conquer your mentality, because that's hand in hand. Your pockets, your account is supposed to reflect your mind state, not your view on the world. That's why a lot of us go buy shit, because we have certain views and values that was instilled with us when we grew up, you know, and we think we need this. We think I got this, I could get this now. But nah, your mentality, your brain is supposed to reflect your financial stability, and your financial stability is supposed to reflect your brain, your mind. You know, those who have money just have money, but those who keep money, those who use money properly, which all is based on decisions. You know, there's no fucking person over you telling you what to do. Thank you, man. I'm glad that you commenting back. You know, nobody's over you to point out, especially when you grown. Hey, don't do that. Stop it. You know, you become your own parent after a while. You police your own vibes. You police your own life. You oversee your own situation. And you have to have the ability to reflect, analyze, and understand, and be multi-perspective. Look at things from different angles. Okay, this angle, I'm looking at it, I'm angry because I feel this way. But let me look at it from this angle, because this angle may not be an angle that I feel is angry. Maybe I can understand from this angle a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to do all of that shit. And nobody teaches us that shit. Nobody teaches us that shit. I'm not a white person, obviously. I'm not a Jew. I'm black. Matter of fact, I don't even want to use that term, because that's a color, and I've never really understood that. I'm brown. You feel me? And in America, in the urban community, no one teaches us the value of money. No one teaches us the mind state that you have to adopt in order to keep that money, sustain that lifestyle, to harbor that and more on the way. No one teaches us that shit. We, in the hood, we learn if you got some money, you can buy shit. That's it. That is all. That is all we are taught. And we not even really taught that. That's what we see. We see, because we in that community, we see people do that. We grow up, watch them, we do the same shit. No one ever comes to us and tells us that we need none of this shit we wind up buying and spending money on. We just do it. Maybe because of programming, but that's another story. I don't want to use anything outside of you, because you know you are responsible for everything. You are the boss of everything when it comes to your mental and your financial stability. And we could sit around all day and talk about conspiracy theories, or they programmed us to do this, or they market these things. All that shit is blasphemy, because you still have the choice to see these things, these commercials, see these people, and you could be like, yo, you know what? I don't want that shit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bernard. What's good, B? Chiming in. Yeah, I wasn't always able to speak this way though, as far as like, financially and mentally, because I didn't know. We just taught to get shit, buy it, I got it. Look, that's it. And I think other communities are taught differently. I don't think the Jewish kids are taught that way. And I think all of y'all agree. We agree from watching them over decades and their civilization, whether it was in America or out there in their country, they always been uniformed. Even as kids, you don't see them in classrooms where students got on chrome heart jeans and some students got on some jeans from Vim's. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we experienced. We went to school with people who had a lot more than us sitting next to us. And not everyone envied the other person, because I didn't envy them. But it made you feel like, damn, I guess that's what it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to get some money and be able to buy my own pair of chrome heart jeans and come to school like that. And I'm supposed to be able to buy a fast car like that and drive and look like that. That's where this shit comes from, because it's what we see, it's what we around. And Jewish kids, they all wear the same thing. Jewish people at that, they all wear the same thing. So there's not even a chance for you to compete with them, or even have the mind state of like, damn, I'm not fitting in. I gotta get this so I can fit it. Fit in what? These motherfuckers is wearing suits and hats and white t-shirts. And I believe that puts a strain on certain communities, because like I said, we forced to feel like, oh, and then you got motherfuckers that's, they reach that point where they thinking that, yeah, I gotta get this, but they take it a step further. They put the action to it and actually go book niggas, go scheming, scamming to get this shit that they want. And they got the right ambition. They got the right ambition, just the wrong motivation. You know what I'm saying? So I had to teach myself this shit. Most of it took me analyzing myself, looking back. Financial stability was not something that was on most of our lists while growing up. That's a fact. That's a fact, bro. Ain't nobody told us shit, bro. You was lucky if you had parents who reached a certain financial bracket, because maybe you would have got some game from them, or at least you would have been able to watch them growing up, and you would have got something from that. But a lot of our parents, people before us in those communities that we come from, they didn't have much either. So we wind up sometimes even surpassing them. And then you got to think of the social separation from that, which is like mentally, if I'm your father, I might not want to comment on your money, because I've never had that money before, but yet you're my son and you have had that money. You know what I'm saying? And that's not necessarily some shit that's like real, because you could have all the money in the world and still need the advice of a father or a mother. You know what I'm saying? The money that shit don't replace none of that shit. It just replaces the fact that you didn't have it. That is now replaced with, oh, I have it. And even that comes with a fine print. I have it. What exactly do you mean? Because I thought I had it, and other people thought they had it, and then they didn't have it. So what it is to have something, as far as financially, what do you mean have it? You could just keep the money in a motherfucking box in your house and say, well, I have it. But yeah, you only have it until you don't got it anymore. So I think now at this age and this level of life, having it is like, is knowing what to do with the shit. Not just having it, or I got it. Because in a sense, it got you. You feel me? If you gonna play the game, know the rules. Exactly. But But if we don't know the rules, do we not play the game? Because sometimes playing the game is the only way for us to learn the rules. Again, some of us don't have people to be like, yo, these are the rules. This is what this is about. This is what's gonna happen. A lot of us don't have that. So growing up in the community I'm from, you gotta play the game regardless. You gotta play the game regardless. And that's where the stress and the trauma come from. Because you in the middle of the fucking ocean, Dolly. You don't know which way to swim. You don't see land, left, right, north, west, side. You don't see nothing. You just in fucking clear ocean. And you got to make a decision. Because you can't stay there in that one spot. You're going to fucking sink. Or you're just not going to get anywhere. So we got to play the game. And I've always told people that throughout my whole life, friends, probably some family, play the game. And that's what I mean. You got to play the game. If you don't play the game, you miss opportunities. And again, it comes with stress and trauma because we come from certain communities playing the game. But you got to play the game. You have to. Most of the people we grew up with didn't play the game. The problem is when we get lit, we think that we have more than you do. And we overdo it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, again, your mind state. Like, honestly, this is what I believe. I believe once you become well off, that don't necessarily mean, a specific amount. Like you gotta hit 1 million. No, once you become well off, once you start fucking with thousands, you got some thousands. I believe that people in our community, we should go get therapy. Hear me out. Because people in our community, they always assume that shit is crazy or I don't need that shit. Black people are very prideful. I love my black people. We strong. But we strong in certain areas. As far as where I come from. I can't talk about places I'm not from. Africa, they may be, different thing. But where I'm from, we are only strong in certain areas, but we are not strong in the financial area. We lack financial education. No one teaches us shit about finances. That is a thing that has to be self-seeked. And that's what I've been doing for the past 10 years. You got to go dig for that shit. You got to watch hundreds of videos on YouTube. You got to hear people tell you the shit that you've been dealing with. So you could identify with it like, oh, okay, so that's what was going on. That's how this shit works. Yeah. Therapy, financial assistance, and I mean talking about, government shit. I'm talking about people who assist you with the day-to-day process with your finances. I seen a video the other day when Nori from Drink Champ, shout out to Nori. He was talking about how when they was rapping back in the days in the 90s, they had to call somebody and ask them for their money. The money that they made, the money that they generated through hip hop, they had to call somebody and ask them for their money. And that person would advise them like, yo, nah, you shouldn't get this month, or yo, cut back on this, blah, blah, blah. Nah, we ain't got enough right now to do that. You probably have enough to do that in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying how, that was crazy. And it was. But it was only crazy because it was used in a way where they were trying to control the artist. But it wasn't crazy in the process. Because the process is genius. Especially if you're real enough to know that most spending of money comes off of impulse. It's you literally saying, I want that shit. Or you seeing something and you like, I gotta get, all right, I'm gonna go get that. It's all impulse. You know, people think impulse shopping is a certain way. It looks a certain, no, it's all types of impulsive shopping. You can have a conversation, someone tells you, yo, I just bought me a new house. And in the back of your mind, you may say, damn, yeah, I should get me a motherfucking house too. Or yeah, where you got your house from? Yeah, matter of fact, it's all impulsive. Now, when you gotta make calls and delegate about your money, you know, that shit changes the dynamic. Because for one, fucking flies, man. Damn. I'm going in the crib. Yeah, so for one, you feel me? It alleviates the impulsiveness. You may call your what you call them, accountant, and be like, yo, I just seen a new electric scooter. I want that shit five bands. He may have a brief conversation with you why that doesn't make any sense for you to buy that. And that brief conversation may change your dynamic of how you thought about that scooter or that electric bike. Within minutes, seconds, hearing a nigga say, yo, bro, come on. That shit is unnecessary, man. You already got a means of transportation, and your means of transportation can transport you and others. Why would you buy another means of transportation that can only transport you now? That's kind of like a selfish purchase. I mean, that's what I would say to a nigga. And a nigga might say, you know what? Yeah, I'm fucking tripping. I got a car with 5 seats in it that could transport me anywhere and others at any given time. Why am I buying a one-person, one-seater electric bike as if I don't have no means of transportation at all? I'm just buying another means of transportation. And this one doesn't come with the one the first one comes with. This is just one seat for me, single, and it's $5,000. It makes no fucking sense, man. And sometimes we gotta be talked out of shit because some of us are not equipped to talk ourselves out of shit. I've talked myself out of shit, I'm not gonna lie. But I know that shit takes a lot more training, and then it changes because you can talk yourself out of buying something for $50, but you might not be able to talk yourself out of buying something for $100,000 if you got $2 million in the bank. It's hard. Pause. You know what I'm saying? It's difficult. It's difficult. Because you like, why not? I got it, man. I'm not going to miss that shit. You tell yourself everything in the motherfucking book for it to make sense for you buying some shit you don't need, man. Come on in. Okay. Yeah, so at the end of the day, you know what I mean? That shit is needed, bro. You know, you if you a fan of The Godfather, you see what was going on. You see what was going on. My son had boy, he used to, everything he fucking did, he talked about that shit with his consigliere, man. Because he knew that's what he needed. 2 brains is better than 1. And we've been hearing that shit since kids. That's what they mean. You gotta get a second opinion on things. And you gotta have that opinion there all the time and nothing personal between, oh no, you just saying that, or you ain't got it, so of course you would say some shit like, no, nigga, that's another brain, another perspective. You gave him an equation, he gave you an answer. You may not like that shit, but it is what it is. I always used to say, yo, I don't like to tell niggas don't buy shit, because niggas will think you a hater. And then I realized when I had some money, I wish I had motherfuckers around me that was like, yo, you bugging, my nigga. You bugging. Real shit, man. Because at the time, again, Like I said yesterday, you be so zoomed in, or at least it takes willpower. Which, bro, it's just willpower at its finest, though. Not the willpower these niggas out here talk about. A lot of us ain't even see this willpower that we speaking of. It takes entirely a certain amount of willpower because you got to be strong enough to tell yourself no. And a lot of us can't do that shit. A lot of us couldn't do it. But you have to learn how. You have to learn that every purchase, every time you spend some money, besides bills and necessities, is all tied to emotion. You have to know that. You have to. You got to say, what is the emotion? What is the emotional attachment to this purchase? Motherfucker, what the fuck you talking about? What you mean? What is the emotional attachment to this purpose? Why do you want this? And a motherfucker will tell you why. And if you listen, and if they listen enough, they'll understand that, damn, that's the reason I want this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's an emotional attachment to everything. You want a Lamborghini, why? Good morning. You want a Lamborghini, why? Because you always wanted one. That's an emotion. Nobody that looks at you say, yo, look at him. He always wanted a Lambo. Him right there. Nobody gives a fuck about that but you. And I had to learn that shit. What is the emotional attachment to this purchase that I am making? Well, I never had these before. When I was a kid, they came out, but I couldn't afford them. That's all emotional shit. And I think to stay wealthy and to become wealthy, and I seen a video today where the guy said, he said, the more successful you become, the less emotional you become. When you fucking popped and you poor, you broke, you are in your fucking emotions. When you get some money and you want to buy a bunch of shit that you've never had, you are in your emotions. And I'm a Pisces. I'm an emotional person. That don't make me a dummy, a sucker, or a bitch. You feel what I'm saying? But I am able to see my faults. And I have. And that's how you fucking grow. That's how you get better. You gotta tell your emotions, man, fuck you. Who cares about you wanting a fucking pair of bedazzled jeans? Nigga, shut up. You gotta be able to look at yourself in your mind as if it's you and that, you and you across from each other in a room and talk to your motherfucking self. You're bugging, nigga. It ain't that serious. Why? You know, I'm able to do that with other people, or I was, but I wasn't able to do that with myself. People will ask me for certain shit. I'll be like, that doesn't make no sense for me to, not just that I'm giving it, but it just didn't make no fucking sense for the reasons why people, you know, or people didn't have no real solid reason or plan. So it was like, nah. But then when it came to my shit, I reasoned with myself. Now, I bought them shits because I want the red ones too. I got the red, blue, yeah, nigga, because I'm shit, nigga. And it's like, nigga, no matter what the fuck you say, bro, that's all emotional shit. The question becomes, do I actually need that item to survive or not? Absolutely. And we don't need most items. We don't need most items, but you know, it changes with what is trying to be purchased. You could say that about some things, but other things you gotta say, what's my emotional attachment? How can this be useful to me after purchasing this? That's another one, because the things change. It's not always gonna be a car you wanted. It's not always gonna be some clothes or sometime it may be some real shit. But you have to ask, you gotta go down that checklist. You buy a piece of property. Don't buy it because someone else in your family, they bought property and you wanna be the second one, or you wanna have property too. The intentions behind everything matters. That's why things fold. That's why things fail, because the intentions is what we can't see. It's a vibe, it's a frequency. So your attention's got to be right. If I purchase this property, I'm purchasing this property because I want to put people in it. I want to be a landlord. I want to try to start a real estate portfolio. That's what makes sense. That's what makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Not just the look like you doing good, or just because that's the look. Oh, Kevin got a house. That's the look of it. That doesn't break down the purpose. A week later from that, or a month, whatever, a year later, you could hear, well, Kevin don't has his house anymore. And you like, the fuck? Because that was just the look of it. What did he do while he had the house? Did he make some money? Did he invest in it? Did he try to re-renovate it? Did he try to sell it for more capital than what he paid for it? That is the logistics of shit. And everything has it. And if it doesn't, you have to find it. You have to question yourself. What is the logistics of this shit? What is the real details of this shit? Because all of that is the look. He got a house. He bought a car. He just had a baby. That's just the look of it. Who he had a baby with. Those are the logistics. Nigga could be going through hell. Y'all over here cheering, oh, he had a baby. Yeah, he could be going through fucking hell, depending on who he had the baby with. A year later now, he like, yeah, this fucking bitch, I'm gonna kill this bitch. Because that is just the look of things. So don't do things for the look of it. Do things with intention, purpose, and understand the logistics of everything. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I had people like myself at that time to tell me these things, but that ain't how life worked. I wasn't able to do that at that time, so I'm able to do it now. You know what I mean? I can't go back in time with this version of Kevin and tell that version of Kevin, yo, you fucking tripping, bro. I can't. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you gotta learn. So in the future, you could give yourself a fighting chance, man. Word up. Oh yeah, man, I'm about to get up off this shit. I ain't going front B. I probably hop on back on Warzone. The motherfuckers was cheating me. I turned that shit right off, but I probably hop back on that shit. I'm not going to crib right now. I ain't got shit to do. Or I ain't working today and shit. But yeah, I'ma holler at y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, follow, share. And yeah, man, we going up, yo. I ain't even gonna lie. We going up. I'm starting to get more consistent with these posts. We going up. You know, life be lifing, but sometimes you gotta tell life, chill the fuck out, man. Word up. Chill the fuck out. And do what you know you need to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we going up, bro. It's gonna take us some time, but everything takes time. But I'ma holler at y'all tomorrow. Y'all already know. Same place, same time.